So now we're gonna just prepare our model. I know sometimes I said it's better just to import a model, do animation, and then you can do shadering at the end. But in this case, there's few steps we have to do, so I would rather do it separately in different scene. So you feel free to skip this if you want to get to the animation part, but I'll just quickly go through some texturing. So first of all, we have the problem with our dots, because our dots, if we recreate them, I created material when I brought this emission, which we are using with Redshift. I brought them in and the UVs doesn't match. To be honest, not sure if the Blender used different UVs than the Cinema 4D, but even though I was playing with the scale and offset, it somehow didn't match, so I decided to don't use them. So I will just create new material, and in this new material, I will bring Fernal and bring it over here. So let's see how does it look. We can just go to Redshift and start IPR over here. At the beginning, you don't see nothing because on the camera, actually, there are put some lenses and stuff like that. So I'll just delete the camera. And now we can see our object here. And I will just come over here and we can play with. Can try to emphasize our gradient. I actually don't like the flickering over here, so I will just use Alt Good render view. So just go over here. Now let's just try to find, okay, this looks perfect. And then we'll create a ramp node, bring it in. And in the ramp node, we want to switch. So the black will be there, but the white is going to be on the other side. And it's going to be red. And the black can be even like denser. Then we will just bring this into our material diffuse channel. And let's just have a look. You will bring some reflection, reflectivity. I think if we put below 1, it will be kind of like small dots inside. That's what we're kind of looking for. But the transition is quite sharp, which is probably fun because we still have some reflection on top of that. And we will have some spill when we will bring this light into emission, because we will be bringing this to both. We'll also bring it to our emission level, which right now the scene is empty, so we won't see that much. But if we start bringing intensity in our emission level, then you can see it start giving some additional more details. And I think there's kind of like nice subtle gradient. If you want to, we can still like play a little bit with our ramp node, but I'm quite happy with this. All right, animation can be, yeah, it's up to us. We're gonna keep it on or off. Okay, so we get our texture, then we get our lens in front of it, then all those parts, they kind of look like they're semi-transparent, so we are able to see something inside. I don't know if we need it desperately to see inside, because you already have some parts there. Let's just for fun do that. So we can create some new material. Let me just go here. Let's use preset. So we can use tinted glass. And actually normal glass, and then we can just reduce the refraction, so it's going to be kind of way darker. So now we're making like dark glass, and this dark glass can be just used on this material and other material. Let me just see what textures they are using. They're using the white plastic. It's not really white plastic, this is black glass, but we can replace it. And then we have some white materials. So let me just quickly use just create a few more materials. So we will have some glossy, then we have a few dark ones, and then we have a few white ones. So I'll just make some quick substitutes. This one can be some really bright and really rough, or maybe we don't want any bright cell color there, so we can just use some tone of beige or gray. This one can replace the white ones. Then we have another material which is gonna be way darker, really rough, even rougher. And this will replace our dark plastic materials, camera lens. Yeah, we definitely don't need that. What is this? This is our initial attempt. So let's delete this one. This is our these are dots, so we don't need this one neither. And the last material I was saying we're gonna create is aluminum. So let's just use the default of aluminum, and let's bring it on the metal. And on this one. Also, I'm using the Alt when I'm dragging and connecting materials. So I just want to be sure we have as little material as possible, and all of them are from Redshift. So now when I will bring back our render view and render it out, just go a little bit further and then just create the light. Oh dear. Let me just try it out, make it like way weaker. Okay. So this is our material, this is our ball. I mean, I think we need to add some subdivision to make it a little bit more smoother. But otherwise, like for time being, like this is our just like starting thing. So I'm fine with this. It's gonna look different, but we were just trying to relink the materials. So that's it. This is just kind of like quick preparing for the scene. Then we're gonna tweak all the materials, and let's just call this eye. And then we know we won't get polluted the main scene with so many additional Redshift materials. So I'll bring this. Oh. So then I will bring the eye, Control C, come over here, Control V, bring the eye, bring it to the gun. Maybe definitely creating some sort of robot here right now, but it's okay. It was not supposed to be a robot, it was supposed to be a kind of automatic turret gun, which you can still pretend it is, even though it's not really. Also, here, let's say we can use still transfer. If we use transfer, ooh, look at the size difference, massive. The question is, what was actually the wrong size? Okay, now it looks like totally like a robot. I'm sort of fine with it. I still add some neck. Let me go to our material. So we're getting our defender prepared. And we're going to figure out the timing. Open the door to redeploy the chute, and then the camera has to be falling down. So that's all good. So let's prepare our shape, and let's just prepare some basic graph scene. So we're gonna go here, models, and we need to download our shape. Okay, so we are using this lovely Viking ship. Just download FBX. Oh, it is already there. Oh, interesting. Just didn't unpack it. So definitely cut this out. So we will just bring all those models we got here, and we'll just make sure that they are extracted in the individual folders. So then I take the Viking ship and I'll just bring it here to Cinema 4D. Let's come over here, bring the ship in. All right. So we got a few materials here as well. Let's save some time now, and I will just be working with primitive objects. We'll do texturing later because I want to die on this. So let me just take the ship, add to the new layer, all those, add to new layer, ship, and then we can just bring this one to our scene. Yeah, we'll relink all those files. So as you can see, we can already bring it with the shader. So it's gonna kind of help us here. So we can just see the materials, which go for the shape, which go for the gun, and we go for all. I mean, those which I brought, they actually don't have setup layers. So I'll just bring them, give them a ship layer. Why doesn't work? Okay. Okay. So now we have just a little bit organized things. Then those RS materials basically go with the gun as well. Part of that. So let's just give them the gun. It's better to keep it organized because we might have a lot of shaders at the end. And then let's just bring this ship and make it like way smaller. Go to default camera. Okay. Then we will adjust the ship and we'll play with some settings, but first let's just delete those paddles. We will do something else. We're gonna be using the paddles. I did also, to be honest, work with the version where I use them, but then I thought it will take unnecessarily too long to animate them. So let's use something else instead. So we will delete them. Then we will create some kind of sort of tube, bring it there. Just bring it over here. We can play with the radius and with the height. So really small, we don't need so many. We maybe want more subdivisions, and this will give us some kind of like, I'm not like really a huge steampunk fan, even though I mean I love it, of course, but that'll be the only thing I'm doing. But let's go here steampunkish. Just create instance of this. I would change it. Change just once, like here, so you can see you can like adjust the height, and then maybe create small. Then I will create. I don't know what the name of this. It's kind of actually the things which you use in the boat to get the speed. I'll just go over here. Okay. So now let's come here. Let's character, move graph, cloner, radial, different direction. Okay, we will just reduce radius, bring it over here, move it outside of the tube, rotate it a little bit, and then we can play with the sizes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally getting there. So I'm just trying to do it as quickly as possible. It's a little bit hard for me to talk in the same time, but I'm sure you understand. And then we will just bring more subdivision to it. And just kill the cloner for a moment. Okay, we're almost there. Not sure if it's easier than animating all those pedals, but I think I'm quite happy with this. We can then use sweep NURBS. We can just use the fillet, get some details, and then we might add some like cylinder in the middle, because that's what kind of propelling this kind of thing. Then we can just adjust our radius. And then from there, we will probably still use one more cloner. And in this cloner, we'll just use like some sticks. All right, so we got this like cool looking object here. We can eventually like make one more, but it's fine. So now we're going to be rotating it. We have our wheel, so all this go under the wheel. Okay, so we got the ship, we got the wheel, and now we will basically just spinning this. Okay, so this is our ship. What next we're gonna do? We might do also change a little bit of the top of the ship, but let's maybe first like just adjust this. So we got our all shields. I'm not sure if those shields I will actually keep them. We'll just clean this a little bit mess. UW and delete it. Kind of keep turning off. And let's have a look if we're gonna bring it to our scene. So in our geom, we have our gun, which is gonna be the entire group of the scene here. Then we have our ship. And the ship we have the model. Okay. And now we are getting to the proper problems. So we want the ship to be bigger, and when we will be hitting the ship, so now let's adjust the scale, so how big the ship should be when it's gonna be flying in the scene. And also the laser should probably hit the ship somewhere around here, but I will be animating the laser shooting around. So I think this is the decent size. Let me see how it looks from the main camera. It's actually looking quite good. We can make it even slightly bigger. And it's gonna be like, this is gonna be our meeting point where we're gonna hit the ship and at the same time see the laser shooting. So I think the scaling is good. And if it's gonna be falling down at the end, so it means roughly in this moment, sorry, camera going down. So in this moment, roughly, we want to shoot it. So I will just put the keyframe on the ship, and then I will go all the way in the front and just move ship quite further back. Put the keyframe and make them, as you guess, linear. We don't have any speed up in the beginning. And we have a floating ship in our scene, ready to be hit. Then there's gonna happen a shooting laser, and we will shoot it down. All right. So what are we gonna do this? We want to have the gun suggest the shot and then the ship falling down. Speed of the ship is quite good. We might add some floating. So let's just get the basic. Let's just make some rough animation. So we won't bring the door back. And then behind the door, we might put the sphere. I mean, you can animate this easily by hand, but I will just show you some tricks. This is going to be our basically opening thing. So let's go here. Let's go to simulation text and rigid body. What we're gonna do, we're gonna use this object as the collision, and we will use this to kind of like shoot and open the doors. So I will go here and I will put immediate, and I will put custom velocity. It means this object will have from the beginning, it will just shoot some direction. And if I'm looking right on the object, it should be z-axis. So let me check z. I'm not sure if it's based on the word or based on the object. And let's just play it. Oh yeah, it is. So now we have this shooting object, which immediately shoots with 500 centimeters per second velocity. I will reduce it maybe for 20. 20 is not enough, so 200. Okay, and we want to be the moment of surprise. So if 118, 115 is gonna be the collision, then how are we gonna do the timing? Well, if something happened really quickly, or if you're driving the car, you have roughly 1 second before you react. We don't want to give this ship too much time that they will be like, the cannon would come on top them and they'll be like, just keep flying, nothing would happening. So we want to do this kind of like not too much time. So it means we want to have around 1 second before the cannon shoot. And then we need some time before the cannon will deploy. So from there, I would say we are not looking for more than 2 seconds. I mean, 2 seconds would be 50 frames, roughly 50 frames. So it would be around here. No, even more. So I think this is kind of good time. Yeah, it's about 2 seconds. So we have like 1 second to kind of like open the door, deploy the cannon, and then shoot. So 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, we're looking for 1 second before like a shot or activating the cannon, 1 second opening the cannon, maybe a few frames a little bit ahead. So let's just test it out. So we'll start roughly around here, and the dynamic start here. So before, till then, it's not dynamic. So I'll turn off the dynamic. What happened now? I just play the animation, the ship is flying, and then we have this cannon jumping, or the ball jumping. This is a dynamic object, and our doors will be also dynamic objects. So what we're gonna do, we'll give them the joints. So let me just go to simulate. We're gonna go to dynamics, we'll bring the connectors, and yes, let's have the connectors over here. The connectors have to be connected to something solid. So I don't think I can collect them to object which is unanimated, but let me try object A, and then let's say this cube. So the box, let's call it box. So I would come here to connector. I would use the hinge door on the left, and I will have to give the door a simulation tag that they are actually supposed to be animated. They're moving inwards, so the joint kind of works. The problem is that I'm not sure if it's the wind or why they start moving right off the bat. They should not do that. So make sure their axis is right. Inner collision, bounds, reference object. So what we're gonna do to be sure this won't happen, we will put on collision. So Right now we have a door, and then boom, look at this. We just open the door, fairly aggressive way, but it works. So we're going to do the same thing with the other door. We just bring the door. So door will be animated around this hinge, and there will be holding towards the box. And they are dynamic, and they are dynamic until the collision. So one more time. This happened. The second door. Oh, I put it on the wrong object. Sorry. So as you can see, when I have this animation and I don't have a dynamics in the beginning, which is relating to the object, and all the scene effects happening around here, and for time being, just shorten it. So we don't have to cache so long. Then what next? Then this is kind of flying and hitting the walls here, which we don't want to. So what we can do, we can create cube, which will just go towards the box. And then this cube will, as you guess, will work as our basically hidden pillar, which just makes sure that the door won't fly through the wall. So I'll just put one here, and I can even merge them together. Not this way, but connect and delete. So it's just one geometry, and we can just call it obstacle. How original. So we have this obstacle, and then we're gonna go here over simulation, and we will have the physical wall obstacle. So the difference between those and this one is that this one is not dynamic, so it's just like really stiff. It is literally obstacle and rigid body. We can, there is like forces applying on gravity and all that stuff, and we can choose if we will start immediately with some velocity normally, or on collision, or the peak of the movement, or use it with expression tag or Expresso. So now let's have a look on it. We open the door. The door gets stick. I don't really like how stick they got. Let me see if we can cone on the obstacle, and in the collision, maybe like let's 0 friction and just bounce. Yeah, I don't like the sticky feeling of it. So let me go on the doors as well and remove the friction and increase the bounce. Okay, that looks better, maybe too much. Okay, so let's just keep some friction still there. I don't want to be necessarily close again. Okay, this is quite good. Yeah, I like it. So now let's go back to camera, and let's see what's going on here. So we have to open the door. Maybe we can still do it a little bit later, because I think the Canon deploy is going to be really fast. So what did I set? So this is the camera going down, so 120. So 24 frames, says 100, says 96. So that's the second I was telling you about for reaction time. And we start shooting our sphere object way here. So I think we have too much. Maybe we need 1 second. As I said, the reaction time is 1 second, so maybe all this can happen in 1 second. Because I feel we have otherwise too much time. It's too soon. So let me just move it a little bit more than 1 second, like 30 frames, around 30 frames. So let's see how it looks. Open the Canon cam and shoot. What we can do to see the timing works, because right now we're just working on really roughing out the timing. So this is the thing I said that we should like start seeing the dynamic. So let me just do quick test. So I will have simulation tag, rigid body, and this will be enabled here. The frame before won't be enabled. It means our ship just fall down. Then on the ground, on the plane, we will bring collider, so it won't go through. And on our tower, if we're gonna go over here, and we will go to main tower. No, the turret base. Yeah. As you can see, it doesn't really follow well the stick, but it's fine. Can adjust it. So if we want to ship start falling around here, we don't need much time before we will shoot, but we need some time to deploy the gun. So we need a few frames before we shoot, like just charge the cannon, but then we need to get the cannon in. So if it's shooting 120, we have 10 frames for just before the shot, just a little bit anticipation. It means that could be time when the cannon should be ready, prepared. And I think we need maybe something like around the 15 frames to not even second to get ready, get cannon ready. So I will bring our head with the eye, just bring it under the base for the time being. And let's just move it back. So all this thing just slide back. Maybe a little bit up because that's how our stick works. So we have the cannon sliding in. I actually want to slide even more because I want to see our head. So we will just slide it all the way, basically kind of intersecting here, but I want to see the entire head. I actually might need to, yeah, I think might need to reduce the distance. Okay. In the turret, let's bring, and we'll select our points. Where are they? Yeah, over here. Just move it a little bit closer. It's gonna be less intersecting. So now we have our turret coming in, the main turret, and then we have our cannons. I want to rotate the cannon somehow in, but it's kind of hard. The turret is a little bit big. Might have no reason to. Okay, let me try to do this with rotation. So we will lock in. When we're locking in, we will lock in all the rotations, and we will rotation for the cannons as well. What we are trying to look, we are looking for to creating some interesting way how to bring this cannon in. Like, so if we are going for, I don't know, 1 second, let me just rotate the cannon and also lift it. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, now it's too many rotations I feel happening, and this final movement I'm not a big fan of. So let me just go and kill the rotation on the left. Yeah, this is already kind of like more robotic looking. But of course, we are going through, we actually, I think, avoiding intersection because we can make the hole inside bigger. So we avoiding intersection, that's good. Now we can play with the cannon, like the rotation, like we can maybe, you can like rotate and push up. That's maybe actually quite good. Just put it even faster. yeah, now it looks kind of mechanical. So the movement is not happening at the same time. They're kind of like delayed. And in terms of this movement, this mechanical one, let me just see the rotation over here. Come to curve mode, bring the rotation in. And this is what we got. And now I will copy the frame, and then I will copy one more time, which we can also go here and just hit Q button. Why you don't see what I'm hitting? Q. Yeah, you don't see it. Karnak. Q. Okay, now you see it. Ooh, wow, this is too bumpy. Okay, what are we trying to bring? We're trying to bring some heaviness, but of course this is too strong. So let's just maybe make it like hit UHS. So let's make it something more smooth. Yeah. Let's see how it's coming down. This looks way better. And then we will just slide in also. It can be happen a little bit faster. So, can we start later or finish sooner? Okay, let's start. Okay, let's do a reverse. Let's get there sooner. Okay. I think this is kind of cool. I think we can probably, I want to go even closer. So I'll just push it, you know. Maybe I'll just delete the bottom stick. I don't know. Just as I change the camera angle or the shot, we don't have that much visibility inside, but at the same time, we don't want to overpower it. It still should be about the shape, so whatever. So let me see one more time. How is our timing doing? Boom, shoot. And then also what's important, we don't see in the viewport now. We want to the robot basically when coming in, it's gonna be dark, but then like, or like blue maybe, and then it changed the color for red. So we need some time for there, for sure. Like in the preview, you might think that the things are slow, so you want to make them faster, but then you might realize later on that it's actually opposite is true, and things are way too rushed. I'm trying to keep this animation fast, but I think we have some little bit time there delay. What we can do, we can in the turret base in the eye, I can, because I don't want to set the textures and everything, I can just go here, bring this sphere, bring it under the eye, Alt 0, way smaller. I'm actually not happy with the size we got here. It looks like the scale scene is quite off, but before we will run dynamics, we will check it out. Okay, so, and then we will just bring this, and I'll just create the material. This is gonna be red. And a Q, so we see the colors. Yeah, it's kind of ugly colors, but whatever. I don't like the viewport in cinema. Terrible. Anyway, so before we shoot, we change the colors. And I was already falling down, so around 120, we might just do it this way. It might be visible off, we don't see it. Or the visible in will be always off, we don't want to, but it's just visible in the editor. And then it's gonna be on. Let's see the timing. Flying this, came cannon, good. Think it works. One more time. Flying the ship. The focus is gonna be on the ship. There's gonna be someone dancing or like just living, enjoying, having a good time. So we're focusing on the ship. Suddenly open the door, came cannon, red color, shoot. Maybe we can even have a tiny bit more time before we will shoot it down. So let me middle click on the gun, select all the keyframes, and just move it a few frames sooner. And the same thing I will do with our sphere, which we are using for opening the door. I'll just put a few frames sooner. Okay. So now we have door open, cannon come, red, shoot. So we have a little bit more time for seeing the cannon deployed. Because we also will have some big lasers, big fat lasers coming from there. And I actually think that I will do it slightly different. I don't want the laser cannon just to shoot. I kind of want to like split the ship, like slice it basically. So what we're gonna do, first of all, when we're already doing this preview and see how thing works, let me do it with cannons as well. So I'll just use a cylinder, turret cannon, sensor plate, rotating, 0. So let me just quickly mock up the shot. I'm not saying if you're gonna use this, maybe we really have a slow number, so I'll have to change the scale of the scene. I don't like to put in such a small numbers. Okay. And one more here. So we're coming here, opening the ship. Let's maybe make some like, let's agree on the frame where when there's a shoot. So if the ship is start falling down and being under the dynamics on 115, so the 115 is the moment of the impact. So I'll bring my cylinders, and in 115 is the moment of the impact. So that's basically now. The laser is going to be even longer, so I will just go with them a little further. Nothing crazy, but maybe 7. Okay, as I said, I'll have to change the scale of this because it's really sensitive, but 5 centimeters. And then we're gonna go a few frames ahead, and it's gonna be 0. The other thing I want to do, I don't want to shoot the ship directly like this. I want to go to our gun. So we have this cannons over here, which we are bringing with rotation down. We are just here bringing them down. Oops. But what I want to do with them, and I will just select one rotation. Yeah, actually I want to start shooting from way lower. So what you're gonna do, we'll just select all the keyframes and just go lower. and aim on the bottom of the ship. Okay. So now when we have the cannon ready to deploy, oh, and unfortunately, before we go lower, we'll make sure that our cylinders are under the cannons, and then over here I will just let me see. Then I will take the cannons and I will go lower. That's where we start, even lower. And then, as we said, 115. So now it should, and as it should, we'll keep the rotation. So the rotation jump back and stays for a little bit. So it's falling down, jump a little, bounce back, then stays, hold for a second, and then shot came. And then the shot came. I want to see this thing like become alive. So I'll just put the rotation at Q, and let's just go all the way up. Just like split it basically. So now let's see the scene. Opening doors. Okay, it could be even faster to be honest. So we will go faster or we go higher. Okay. Also want to push back the ship when we shoot. Like we want to make this laser powerful looking. So it's going and this is supposed to be recoil bound. So first we'll have bounce back and then it lift kind of. So we have the main turret, which will coming in. Oh, did you animate the main turret? Okay, the turret base, sorry. Oh, this is actually nice rotation as well, just to use the rotation for the turret base. We are just using it to kind of sliding in, but we could even like load it this way. So what we are doing right now, okay, we are coming from the back. Just out of curiosity, what happens if you're gonna, instead of the rotation, bring it from the ground? Yeah, I think it's actually better than sliding in. It actually works way nicer. So I'll just offset this. And just when we are using our turrets, when they start bouncing off, let me see them. Okay. To go lower, higher. It's up to us how big. So maybe see if I'm gonna move this a little bit. Yeah, this works better. Now we see some heaviness. All right, I'm really happy with deploying the gun now. The timing works really well, and I like the dynamic of it when it's like bounce. Then when it starts shooting, then it's not looking really natural. So the lasers are fine. They shoot. And they hit the bottom of the shape. That's great because we still see the entire shape, and then we're gonna slice it. What I don't like though is first I'm missing recoil. For those who knows the games, they just recoil like this is actually recoil. So we need this for sure. So we shoot on the 115. So I will put the rotation here, and then we will just get kick. Bam. Oh, that's actually how we shoot the ship up. We don't even use the rotation. We just got the recoil from the gun. And then we're gonna go back. So we will just to see. So we already heading the shooting start working fine. Let's for time being kill the cannon rotation up. So I just don't like it. Yeah, okay. So we don't want to be aiming so down. So just keep it up, reduce it. Okay. And this third base, what we see this like curve nicely. So we can just repeat the curve. So let me just do control, make it smaller, like closer and smaller. So it will just make kind of smaller wave. That's gonna be boom. It's too big, so let's make it even way slower, exponentially slower. So now we can see it like we have this like bounce, we have this heaviness of this object. And one big thing we kind of like messing up, or it's not really there, it's the lifting of the gun. So let's play it all from the beginning. So just like open the door, cannon coming. Yeah, I think this works quite well. So kick the door, cannon coming in, laser, we hear bounce, and then laser can start sliding up. So we got the kit. The kick help us to slice the ship, and then we start speeding up the cannons up. So I don't think that's cool. I think maybe we can like keep the cannon even longer to kind of, we'll probably like, laser will be like reducing by that time anyway. Okay, I think it's because of the recoils maybe too big. Or maybe we do reverse. Let's just keep the. Okay, sorry. I'm just now going based on the feeling. We don't want to make it too. It's like it's a little bit too much. It's kind of too quick. It's kind of comical because with the lasers it's gonna look different. It's good we are using the cylinder for testing things out. Maybe I can even like get a little bit more time on this. You know, it's back. I like kind of big head. It's almost like those cannons should not have the rotation linked to this object. This object almost like looks like they should be linked with the position, like parent with the position, but not with rotation, like moving individually. I think that's what I right now kind of like staring at, because I love that the cannons being big kick back. But I don't like when it's coming back. So what I can do here, I'm actually using it from this point. So let me just try use sharp curve. Yeah, it was slightly better actually. If you're gonna go really far, okay. Yeah, I kind of like it. So we have the lasers, we kind of shoot all the way up and then just keep going up. And it's gonna be keep going up, it's gonna be slowly fading away. So we can even like mimic it here. So it's gonna be really heavy hit, cutting through the top of the shape, and then it'll be like it's going up, 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 up. The radius is gonna be going like lower, lower, lower. So we'll basically end up in that laser. So let's play the animation, opening the cannon, laser. Yeah, I mean, I think the timing works well. It looks quite natural to me. Now we need to kind of play with the destruction of the ship and adding the cloth simulation on top of it. But how long we are recording? 1 hour. But I think we have a rough timing for the event. And maybe one thing I will do also with the eye, I will probably change the eye, change a little bit sooner. Few frames sooner. I don't know, actually I want to have deployed and the moment like, what is this? Okay, I will do one more thing. I still want more time here before the shoot actually. So now when you decide after such a long time that you want to extend it, the best way will be to select the gun, select the shape, and then just take all the keyframes to this point. And just add a few frames. First start animating, so let's do this frame. And just add a few more frames. Because also the important thing is, I told you that reaction time is 1 second. So reaction time for the shape, like how much time should be like a quick animation to explode and stuff, is 1 second. But the reaction time for humans is 1 second. So when we will deploy this, I want the people to, oh, this is the cannon. We'll just surprise the ship. And I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. Like, I want you to have this like quick thought, like, whoa, what's going on? What's gonna happen? Like, and this is really, you need 1 second for that. Right now, when we like deploy the cannon, it's like we deployed in 110. It shoot too quickly. I was in the beginning, and this is what I told you. In the beginning, I give enough space, but then I was feeling it's too much space, and then I shorten it out. Now I already regret. But it's not a big deal. It's basically all the frames before this. I want to move a little bit, so I'll just go to key mode and I'll just select all the points. Is it middle click in Geo? And then all the points I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. Okay. It's subtle, but it does a small difference. We have the cannon coming in. And then you turn the red, then you shoot. And now it's gonna fall ground, and there's gonna be some small robots crawling in, and the animation was gonna be kind of funny. So I'll save this. We did a lot of work. We did one of the main segments. So again, we have the gun. We add some new layers, so I'll just add layers again. So we got the ship, we got the gun, and then you're gonna have the things happening on the ground. So it's gonna be our main elements. So now we're gonna focus on the ship. Like, we have the gun done, and in the next chapter we'll just focus on how to animate the ship properly. But meanwhile, you can just enjoy our first pass.